center fielder that may be up in the air, but I'm not mad at it. Like Dominic said, 2 years, $6 million, very low risk.
The Giants actually have someone in the farm system named Steven Duggar, who is a center fielder, and he's going to be there in the future. Now, being that Austin Jackson was only signed for 2 years, and by the way, former Yankee farmhand, and
that's why I don't like Curtis Granderson.
Yeah, because he was traded for Curtis Granderson. And I was
always a big Austin Jackson fan.
Yeah, but it worked out.
I was never a Granderson fan, though. He always had low average, high home runs. I honestly never liked that guy. It's why I'm so hard on Judge. And don't get me wrong, I love Aaron Judge. I have an autographed rookie card of him in my room. But yeah, it's really fun. Along with my D'Angelo Russell bobblehead.
Perfect. But just going back to the Giants really quick. So it's clear to me now that the Giants are not sitting back. They want to overtake the Dodgers now. The Rockies are obviously a threat now in the NL West. But again, when you load up with Evan Longoria and Andrew McCutchen, yes, they are these old names. And I'm saying old because they've been around for a while. They're established veterans. Longoria especially, and McCutchen. McCutchen was a former National League MVP.
Longoria is a Yankee killer.
Yes, he is.
And you know who's very happy that he's out of the division? CeCe Sabathia.
No, all of us are happy.
CeCe Sabathia more than anything. But the Giants are loading up right now. Like, Hunter Pence is moving from right field to left field. Austin Jackson's probably going to be in center field, and McCutchen's going to be in right.
Yeah, I hear you. So, all right, let's take a quick break. Don't go anywhere, because we'll have an exclusive interview with Tom Gamboa coming up next. He's a former Major League coach and minor league manager, and the author of Tom Gamboa, My Life in Baseball. It's coming up next on Beyond the Game on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're going to go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you going to do? You're going to go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You got to dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. I know you won't, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Yeah.
Hey, check it out. I'm gonna need you to turn up your volume.
No, I'm supposed to say that. Come on. Hey, look, check it out. It's your guy, DJ Steph, the saucy man himself. Tune into It's Saucy, where I play nothing but hip-hop and reggae music.
1, 2, 3, hit me!
Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. on the Voice of Nassau Community College on 90.3 WHPC.
Listen!
90.3 WHPC reminds you that you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
There are thousands of teens in foster care who will love you just the same.
There are thousands of siblings in foster care who are waiting for an adopted family.
There are 108,000 children and youth currently waiting in foster care for permanent families.
For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org.
A message from the Ad Council and the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
You are listening to Beyond the Game on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I am Jacob Volk. Sitting across from me is Eric Fischetti and Joe Ardita, and we are fortunate enough to be joined by Tom Gamboa, a former Major League coach and minor league manager, and the author of Tom Gamboa, My Life in Baseball. Tom, how are you?
Hey, Jacob. I'm real good out here in the California sunshine. How you doing back there?
Doing good. It's a little cold out here. It was raining earlier today.
In the New York rain.
Yeah, we'll eat your hearts out because it's 75 degrees here in beautiful Rancho Mirage, and I'm in the middle of a golf now.
All right, sounds good. So, what can you tell us about your experiences with Jim the Rookie Morris?
Well, it's interesting. When Jimmy was signed, he was a first-round pick in the January draft, which is not the status of the June draft. Back in the day, the January draft was for junior college players, and Jimmy had a decent fastball, a good breaking ball, and not much control. And he was the fifth starter on my first 3 pennant winners with the Milwaukee Brewers back in '83, '4, and '5. And to tell you the truth, Jacob, that when many years later, when I was in my dentist office reading a Sports Illustrated and saw this Walter Mitty story about a 38-year-old guy throwing 100 with the name Morris being so common, I didn't have any idea that it was the guy I managed until I saw his picture. And I was amazed that whatever operation that he had, that his velocity increased literally 10 miles an hour.
All right. Now, how did you discover Jesse Orosco?
Well, Orosco, I spent 10 years scouting before I got into player development, and my territory was big portion of Southern California, and I went up to the Santa Barbara area and saw this skinny left-hander with a real loose arm, very competitive, and he couldn't have weighed more than 150 pounds. And he had a very good breaking ball, did not throw hard at all. So I'm going to be the first one, to be honest with you. I never dreamed that he would become a power pitcher and a closer that would close out the '86 World Series for the Mets.
Yeah,
but I did.
Funny.
But I did feel he was fit to the big leagues.
It's funny. Dominic is a Met fan, and I'm sorry for cutting you off, but he didn't know who Jesse Orosco was. Of course, Dominic, how are you a Met fan and you don't know who Jesse Orosco is? Come on, buddy.
Well, I think any baseball fan remembers the last strikeout of the '86 World Series and him throwing his glove up in the air.
Yeah, exactly. Carter running into him. Yep.
Yep. And we're Yankee fans, and we know that.
So. You were affiliated with the Chicago Cubs in the late 90s, being minor league field coordinator and being the first and third base coach, and they had a pretty successful run with the rise of Sammy Sosa. So can you lay out for us your experiences as a coach in Chicago?
Yeah, I think when I got to the big leagues as a third base coach with the Cubs in '98, little did I know it was going to be a historic season in Major League Baseball, because I remember as a kid seeing Roger Maris on my black and white TV hit the 61st home run, beat Babe Ruth's record, and I never thought in my lifetime I'd see it broken. And yet that year I saw Sosa homer 66 times, and ironically McGuire broke the record against us in mid-September in St. Louis. So it was something to see 2 guys in 1 year break the record.
Unbelievable. Did your hand get hurt every time Sammy Sosa fist bumped you?
Yeah, it's funny that Sosa's highest home run output, I believe, was 39, and he went from 39 to 66. And he told me in spring training, he said, "I want to do something this year. Instead of shaking hands, just make a fist, and I'm going to pound it." And it happened 66 times in 1 year.
Talking to Tom Gamboa, former Major League coach and minor league manager, and the author of Tom Gamboa, My Life in Baseball. So after you left the Cubs, you went to the Royals. Would you be able to describe to us your experiences there?
Yeah, at Kansas City, I was the first base coach and bullpen coach 2001, 2, and 3, and we had a great hitting team. And baseball fans will remember Mike Sweeney was the star impact player of the team, but Carlos Beltran was a 5-tool player that was the Rookie of the Year in '98, and you could see that as he developed that he had unlimited potential, which, of course, he went on to show at Houston and New York and St. Louis, San Francisco, and I think he's well on his way to be inducted in the Hall of Fame in the next 5 years.
Now, I have to ask you, honestly, a very tough question. What can you tell us about the horrible attack that you suffered?
Yeah, well, it was like an out-of-body experience to me, because the game didn't mean anything. It was late September of 2002. The White Sox and us were both way out of the race. And in the ninth inning of a ball game, 2 fans that had had too much to drink and, by their own admission, had taken some drugs, came onto the field. And as I asked in court, why me, they said when they climbed over the rail by the first base dugout, my back was turned, and I was an easy target for them to get the attention that they were seeking.
That's awful, but I'm glad that you persevered for it. So now moving forward in time, recently you were a manager of the Brooklyn Cyclones, a New York Mets affiliate. Can you tell us about your experiences there?
Well, I thank Paul DePodesta for coaxing me out of retirement because I had transferred my passion from baseball to golf and was enjoying my country club life. And Paul was adamant that he wanted me to come to work for the Mets, and he wanted somebody that had a lot of experience, that was a teacher and had been from the bottom to the top. And my whole career, Jacob, I managed in parks that had bad ballparks, and I was fortunate enough to win pennants at every level of the minor leagues, rookie league, low A, high A, double A, and triple A. And it seems like after I'd leave and we won, they'd get a state-of-the-art ballpark. And when I came with the Mets, little did I know that Metropolitan Credit Union Ballpark in Brooklyn, adjacent to the famous Coney Island Amusement Park and with the boardwalk and the Atlantic Ocean behind the right field fence, and all AstroTurf and 9,000 seats, it was a beautiful place to work every day. And I think because of the days of the Brooklyn Dodger fans and Citi Field being so close, we drew about 6,000 to 7,000 people every night. So it was a fun experience.
Talking to Tom Gamboa, former Major League coach and minor league manager, and the author of Tom Gamboa, My Life in Baseball. And Tom, I'll get you out on this. Would you be able to describe to us your experiences as a coach for Team Israel during last year's World Baseball Classic?
Well, that was kind of the coup de grace for me personally, Jacob, because I had never had any experience in international baseball. And Jerry Weinstein, a longtime baseball friend of mine that worked with the Rockies, unfortunately, his bench coach, his mother-in-law, went into hospice, and he had to bow out. So I was asked to fill in, and ironically, we played at the ballpark in Brooklyn, and we beat Barry Larkin's Brazil team and Pakistan and Great Britain to get into the World Baseball Classic. And I had never been to Asia, and we got to go to South Korea, and we pulled an upset winning the tournament. We got to advance to Tokyo, Japan, and we actually beat Cuba, and the whole world recognized us then. But water seeks its own level, and the Netherlands and Tokyo both beat us. But we came within one game of getting to Dodger Stadium. And it was a great way to end my career on a personal note.
You know, I got to tell you, I'm Jewish, and watching that team really made me proud. You guys did fantastic, and I give you a lot of credit for your part in it, Tom.
Yeah, it was a terrific experience, and when you have players playing for the passion of their country, all our players being Jewish and playing for their heritage, the passion and the team effort that they gave was incredible, and I was glad to be a small part of it.
Absolutely. All right, Tom, thank you for your time.
Hey, Jacob, thanks for having me.
All right, that was Tom Gamboa. He's a former Major League coach and minor league manager and the author of Tom Gamboa, My Life in Baseball. Let's take a quick break, but first, I got to tell you about a great show that we have on this station. It's called The Sock Hop. It's on Thursdays at 7 p.m. and Sundays at 5 p.m. It's my pal Jim's favorite show on this station. Well, one of them. He does like this show. Host Steve Dassa plays the Duprees, Randy and the Rainbows, the Platters, and other music from the early days of rock and roll, along with information about the songs and the artists that made them famous. We'll be talking football next on Beyond the Game on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Those serving in our military, they're the difference makers. Separated from family, enduring hardships far from home, sacrificing for their country while serving in a different country. Well, for those of us who support our armed forces through the USO, we get to make a difference too. Through the USO, we get to be the force that delivers the phone call between spouse and deployed service member. The force that brings newborn and new parent together through a delivery room video chat. And the force that makes sure our military serving 7,000 miles away gets to watch the big game from a USO center. We get to be the force behind the forces, connecting them to every comfort of family, home, and country possible. It's a good feeling to make a difference. Visit USO.org/force to learn how you can be the force behind the forces.
Sean, you're the station director. Come on.
All right, Rudy, fine. Hi, I'm Sean Novat, director of WHPC. But some of you are more familiar with my other name, the Warden?
Oh, man, you go, Warden.
I will not read this.
You promised.
I can't believe I'm doing this. The absolute best show on this radio station is Happy Hour. Come on, Rudy, we have over 60 great shows.